Karen with Hollywood Happenings. We stopped by at McDonald's on La Brea in Santa Monica to get a quick bite to eat and kind of finish the interview with Dustin Shapiro, up-and-coming drummer, keyboardist, singer, songwriter.
Starving musician.
Exactly. Exactly. Starving musician. Welcome to Hollywood.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And now, Dustin, you were telling me about some contest that you did with some of your lyrics in. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was saying earlier how I started in music, and I started in a pipe and drum corps group, right? And that's kind of like marching band, but this is like reenacting, right? So I started on bass drum, and then I went to snare drum, and I was a recruit. And I kind of worked my way up. You know, my brother was in the group, and then later my older brother, were involved in it. And so we went on a trip. We went to Washington, D.C., and we played at the Bicentennial for the Lewis and Clark expedition, like the commemorative, you know, when they headed west. So we played on the Capitol steps. We almost got arrested for playing on the Capitol steps in this reenacting group. You know, just big loud drums, like, because that's, you know, what we did. We just hammer it out. And, there was one day on this trip, and I was 12 when I went on this. I was in the 3rd grade. Or no, not 3rd grade. What am I thinking? I was young. Sorry. But we went on this trip, and at one point we were driving past the Pentagon, and this was shortly after 9/11, so that gives you an idea what it was. And we were driving, and then there's a cop behind us. We're in this big tour bus, and so they stop us, and you know, the cop gets out of the car and walks up to the front, and he says, "If you would have kept driving, there would have been 2 Humvees with, you know, big guns on there, and they would have shot you. They would have, you know, fired at you." And so we were just like, oh my gosh, you know, that was like the scary part of the trip. So we had a few close calls, but the performing aspect, that really taught me, that whole experience, that whole group, that really taught me a lot about music. What else could I tell you?
Well, what about like the lyrics that you write? How do you get the inspiration for your writing?
Just listening to other musicians. I've heard it said, Johnny Cash, he's said, you know, some of the best songs that people write are stolen, you know, and you kind of copy and paste and make it your own. And there's a Switchfoot song called Let Your Love Be Strong. And I love that song because it's so encouraging and so hopeful. It's like, this song is gonna help me get through a rough time that I'm having, you know, like quitting your job and just going west to see what's out there, you know, or, you know, anything. A mother trying to take care of a child, and she's a single mother, and she's got a job, and she doesn't know where she's gonna make ends meet, or just anything, a construction worker, a vagrant in the gutter, whatever. So I wrote a song called Let Your Love Get Given Away, and where I came up with the inspiration for that is I just figured, you know, the world would be a lot better place if, you know, we just kind of opened our eyes and took a look around and you know, open the door for each other or whatever, you know, and just care about where other people are in their life, you know. So yeah, does that answer your question?
So you had the chance to perform today on Hollywood Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
So how was that?
It was all right. I mean, I'd never done it before. But the people were cool. I just got out there and played, and thanks for showing me the spot. That was fun. Yeah, it's funny how things just kind of come about. Like I met you on Facebook, and I kind of met the band, a week, like 2.5 weeks ago, I think. This Denny Santa Claus Smith band, which got me out here, and so I didn't think that today would happen the way it did. It's kind of funny how things turn about. The Hollywood Walk of Fame and seeing the whole inside of the Lowe's Hollywood Hotel, whatever it is, that was amazing. Definitely cool to see the Sammy's guitar and go around to the Hard Rock Cafe and check it all out. And it's a cool experience, definitely. I'm not the greatest lyricist ever. I just write about things that are real, about real situations, about real people, and it sounds like the Judge Judy slogan: real stories, real people, Judge Judy. But it's just, it's what I do as an art. And
earlier I asked you about your color, if you were a color. If you were an instrument, what instrument would you be and why?
I don't know if I could pick one instrument. I mean, I'm better at the drums, probably than anything else, but I've told people like this: the piano, for me, it's like a vacation instrument. Because drums, you have to lay down the time and you're very with that pocket in there, you gotta lay down the groove. Think about Steve Gadd and Marcus Miller and going back to all those guys. But with the piano, for me, it's more expressive. You can kind of, all right, I'm playing a C chord. What happened to me today? What did I do? Okay, here's an F chord, F major. B flat. And I wrote another song called Summer of No Return. And it's basically, I wrote it probably 4 years ago, but it's basically just about, what would happen if one day I just dropped everything I was doing and I moved out to California and I just pursued my dream in music. What would happen, So it's fun to explore different possibilities with songs. It's kind of a therapy. It's therapeutic. It helps you get through life and makes kind of clears your head a little bit.
It's funny how you said it's therapeutic. I know the Denny Santa Claus Smith. He plays in it with the Rats a lot out here. And it's therapeutic to the veterans and a lot of veterans with like Gary Sinise.
Yeah, I mean, music is just like, it's a snapshot of a moment. Like, it's amazing how it works. Because, that's why people listen to music of their time, because they can relate to it. That's why people like what music they like, because they can kind of go back to that and say, I made it through this rough time, but I got through it and now I'm here, Sorry, I'm hungry.
It's all right.
My brother Dan and my other friend Robert Haler, excuse me. He showed me this DVD called "Searching for the Sugar Man," and they both told me about it. And just recently, I finally got it. And if you haven't watched that movie, what a great movie! It's called "Searching for the Sugar Man," and it's about a guy named Sixto Rodriguez who recorded an album, several albums. He only sold like 6 in the U.S. I don't want to give away the ending, but well, I guess I will. There's really no way else to explain it. Only sells 6 in the U.S. This is in the 70s, right? Makes this great album. It was thought to be well received. People thought it was going to do well, but it didn't, and no one in the U.S. had heard of it. Somehow, it made its way to South Africa, and everybody had heard of it there. It was like, you know, you have the Beatles, you have the Rolling Stones, and you have Sixto Rodriguez in his album called Cold Fact. And it was just about his experiences in, I can think of the city. I think I can think of the city. Not Denver. I don't know. I can't think of the city right now. But watch the movie. It's a great movie. Just if you're a musician, or you know, if you just like biographies about musicians, it's really cool. I still haven't finished the movie, but I'm in the process. So yeah, that's an influence right now, Sixto Rodriguez.
What about you entered the John Lennon songwriting contest?
Yeah, I entered 2 song competitions this year. I entered several of my songs in the John Lennon Music Scholarship, or the John Lennon songwriting competition, and I entered some songs in the what was the other one? The USA songwriting competition. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that, and just hope for the best. I mean, it's a crapshoot, you know, but it's worth a shot. So, yeah, I mean, I love writing, and I love performing for people. But yeah, I mean, music has kind of thrown me all over the place, like drums and piano, and I love doing open mic nights. Yeah, one of the cool things I got to do was I got to meet Charlie Daniels. I met Charlie Daniels. I played in the stadium for like 10,000 people with this percussion group called Stickyard with a K. So if you're a big percussion person, look up Stickyard with a K, not CK, just K, and like it on Facebook or whatever. And then like Hollywood Happenings on Facebook. And but I played this arena with this percussion group, and we were moving back and forth. I was playing. I'll tell you what I was playing. It was a drum scooter, right? It was on wheels. This group, this Stickyard thing, based out of St. Louis. It's amazing, like the different things that you can do with percussion and just explore it. And it was a lot of fun, but. So it was all choreographed, and we basically opened for Charlie Daniels for this convention in Nashville, in this arena for 10,000 folks. So that was fun. That was kind of a stressful. It was kind of a stressful one, but it was. I learned a lot from it. I even fell off the stage during rehearsal. Everybody was like, "My man Dustin, he fell off the stage, man." And I'm like, "Oh crap, I got to do better." You'll do better, Dustin. So yeah, there's that. What else did I do?
What was your major?
In college, my major was music education. I went to UMSL, University of Missouri St. Louis, for 3 years. where I studied music education.
AKA UMSL.
AKA UMSL, yeah. Look them up on Facebook too. And also Matt Henry, he taught me a lot, you know. Shout out to Stephen Williams. He didn't teach me at UMSL, but he was my first drum instructor. He sold me the car that I'm driving right now that got me out here to California. Shout out to Kevin Giannino. Taught me everything he knows about big band drumming and swing and just, you know. Guess while I'm doing shout outs, I might as well do one for the Hallmark of Creve Coeur retirement community. They kept me alive for 3 years down there. I may even go get my old job back. It just depends. Shout out to my friends and family and just everybody back home in St. Louis. And just big thanks to Hollywood Happenings and you know, you Karen, and to the whole Denny Santa Claus Smith band, and that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back to make me come out here, and just I'm just really thankful for from my parents, you know, for how they brought me up. So yeah, and you know, all the residents of the Hallmark.
So did you get any chance to perform besides Hollywood Boulevard out here? Did you perform at the Crest?
I went to several sit-ins. I went to the Crest. I met some great drummers here, and I might as well just mention their names while I'm at it. Tom Philman, great drummer. Robert Moore, really great drummer. You know, they're all great out here. Everybody. The competition is just fierce, you know. And I'm working my way up, you know. But it's so yeah. I went to several sit-ins, and just had a good time. Saw a folk band last night at Godmother's. Godmother's is a cool place. Robert Moore kind of turned me on to that. What else is there? Let me try and think. But yeah, I mean, I got to meet Tom Philman and one of his students. He teaches drums, and one of his students actually played with Eric Clapton. So to be around folks of that caliber is just like, you know, raising the bar. You know, where you're just grooving, and you're not worrying about like fills and everything. And you know, Robert Moore told me like this. He's like, you just play the skeletal, you know, pattern of what you got to do. The money will come in. You're not worrying about. That's the kind of stuff that'll get you fired. So that's what I'm learning is like, you know, how to get paid a little bit. Which I made $1 today, so that's the start.
So your first buck?
My first buck. I'm gonna frame it. I got it right here. Yeah, first one. So yeah, I'm putting my ketchup. But so yeah, I mean, I'm talking your ear off. But what else is there? Just yeah, I mean, everybody that I've learned from so far, and it's just been incredible.
So what do you think of? I don't know if you were aware of this, but Denny Santa Claus Smith is also a drummer.
Is he?
Yes.
Wow. No, I did not know that. That's incredible. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could, you know, I'd love to play with their band again. That would be fun. No, I'm gonna go home, you know, come back. Once things get more shored up, once I sign up to the St. Louis Musicians Union, and just the Musicians Union in general, and so right now I'm trying to take some advice from people who are worthy to be listened to. And it's a tough thing trying to sort through, you know, the right folks. So yeah. Any other questions or anything?
This is Karen from Hollywood Happenings, signing off with Dustin Shapiro.
Shapiro. All right. Thanks, guys.
Hollywood Happenings live at the ArcLight. Hollywood Happenings live at the ArcLight with Dustin Shapiro.
Hello, we're here at this giant stadium I've never been to, and we're going to see what's going on here and take a look. We got our lovely people here going to help us out, all right.
This is Hollywood Happenings with Dustin Shapiro outside the Amoeba on Sunset, the ArcLight.
Yep, we're just getting we're taking Karen back home. We're outside of this big stadium thing. We were just inside and
the ArcLight Cinema.
The ArcLight. It's not an arc, but it's like an arc. It's an arc-like cinema. So fun area, but I guess I just kind of wanted to tell you guys why I just about how I drove out here. I think I already said it, but after work, left, straight, okay. After work, one day I just decided to kind of come to LA on a whim.
Left at the light.
and I was gonna drive 24 hours
Stop
straight.
sign.
And
Oh, left here. I'm sorry.
all
I
right.
didn't know it did that. My bad.
Oh, you're all good. So I stopped at a. So I was driving.
Left right there at the light.
And I ran into a curb after a conversation with my brother, and I popped my tire, popped my wheel. So long story short, I'm driving down the road with a spare, and I'm having trouble. A cop comes up behind me in Hayes, Kansas. He takes me back into town, gets me a new wheel, a new tire. I wish I could remember his name, because that guy was a lifesaver right there. He took me back into town, got me a new tire, a new wheel, and I kept going. And then a half mile outside of Buena Vista, that there was something wrong with that tire. It was a close fit, but it wasn't exactly right. So it popped. Then it popped again outside of Buena Vista. So I'm strutting along the highway, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what should I do now? How am I gonna do this? You know, and it's going, and so I get it off the highway, I pull into Buena Vista, and I search into my TomTom right here. This TomTom, and I search, yeah. And I search where a parts store is, or a fix-it shop, and we're just going straight. And so I come upon Romo's, I think is the name of it. And this place, they fixed my car up like in half a day, and it was amazing. Like, they were really cool. So, yeah, now my car's fixed. And that's basically the whole story. I mean, I was gonna drive straight through, but I stopped, in the middle, in a place called the Free Breakfast Inn and Motel, somewhere in Kansas, like a small town outside of Kansas.
Sunset Gower, stage 12. At
The
Fulton
desert.
and Gower.
Yeah, the desert was an interesting thing to drive through, because my brother told me that you have to get a full tank of gas before you go into the desert. Okay, so I said, all right. So first I went to one place and they were rude. They were like, I don't know, and the pump wasn't working or something. So
Get up here, make a left.
So I left there, and I'm driving. I'm like, oh man, I hope I find another gas station before the desert. So I find another gas station, fill it up, and I made it through. I made it through easy, and I'm just lucky that tire didn't pop in the desert, and it popped a half mile outside of Buena Vista, California. So I can count my blessings there. But yeah. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys.
And this is a trip
This is a
to Hollywood.
a trip right here. I took a trip on a train, and I thought about you.
And this right here is where they film Let's Make a Deal.
Let's make it. So, Hollywood Happenings, Dustin, Shapiro, Karen K, out.